I'm going to take you back.
Pooh and the gang are back to take another crack at the horror genre in Rhys Frake-Waterfield's Winnie-the-Pooh Blood and Honey 2, a slasher sequel to last year's critically panned yet surprisingly lucrative public domain slasher. The monster makeup has improved, and the production values have been upped, both likely results of the increased budget. But the film can't shake problems that bleed over from its inferior predecessor. The digital effects still lack polish, and it takes itself way too seriously for a B-movie about the residents of 100 Acre Wood going on a killing spree. Then, there's the biggest bother of them all. For all of its amusing ambitions and plans for a full cinematic universe of ruined, copyright-free childhood memories, Blood and Honey 2 is still a clunky execution of a provocative premise. Blood and Honey 2 heightens the stakes by introducing a feathery ringleader in Owl, played by Marcus Massey, and the razor-clawed berserker known as Tigger, played by Lewis Santer. More of A.A. Milne and E.H. Shepard's legacy characters join in on the slaughtering, and they're better outfitted compared to the janky rubber masks their pals wore last time. The villains now look more like human-animal hybrids. Winnie-the-Pooh, played by Ryan Oliva, resembles a yellow-skinned, pot-bellied Slender Man, while plump little Piglet, played by Eddie McKenzie, could be a match for John Leguizamo in the Spawn movie. The costume fittings and makeup applications are nowhere near as atrocious this time around, with Owl looking like a distant cousin to Power Rangers adversary Ivan Ooze, and I want you to know I say that with love.
The Ooze is back! Yeah!
Keying into the sadness that might come for being shunned for telling wild stories about rampaging, honey-loving beasts, actor Scott Chambers delivers one of the better performances in Blood and Honey 2. Replacing original Christopher Robin actor Nikolai Leon, Chambers embodies Christopher's boyish nature and brings a sensitive stability to a character who can't escape the judging eyes of his skeptical neighbors. Without Poor Piglet in custody, the people of Ashdown have no reason to believe his seemingly far-fetched account of what went down in those woods. Screenwriter Matt Leslie could have Christopher Robin claim, "I told you so," when Pooh and his company resurface, but he goes in the opposite direction, which does serve Chambers' soft and sorrowful portrayal of a protective big brother and son. The sequel slasher hilarity is cranked up a couple notches higher, reportedly inspired by the reigning king of 2020 splatter, Terrifier 2. This means the body count easily doubles, if not triples, thanks in no small part to a salacious, neon-bathed warehouse rape that is violently interrupted by Winnie-the-Pooh and Tigger. Credited gore designer Sean Harrison displays 1,000 ways to die as scantily clad partiers meet supremely messy fates that include decapitation, oven roasting, eyeball consumption, dismemberment, the whole thing. Damn! There's a disturbingly playful anticipation when it comes to Blood and Honey 2's death scenes, which keep pushing to be anything but generic slasher kills. Winnie-the-Pooh wields an electric drill and a flaming chainsaw, while Tigger sashimis flesh with his claws. And let's not forget Owl's acidic upchuck attack. That said, Terrifier 2 need not worry about losing its crown of entrails. Blood and Honey 2 leans too frequently on unfortunate digital touch-ups when more blood splatter is needed. Or, in one egregious instance, hands reaching out of a tunnel entrance. The expert craftsmanship on display is squandered whenever animation creeps into the shot. Special effects supervisor Paula Ann Booker manages some spectacular slasher effects, but also delivers unforgivable digital flames and these pixelated red mists that would feel more at home in Half-Life 2. It doesn't help that Vince Knight's cinematography regresses to the previous film's dependence on shaky cam. The picture quality here is undoubtedly crisper and a powerful indication of the increased budget when steady. But Knight can't stop himself from jostling the frame at the worst times, which does take the luster out of certain effects. Leslie's scattershot screenplay is littered with breadcrumbs for crossovers to come, but that information feels a bit too cumbersome for a sequel so desperate to inflate Pooh's kill statistics. It veers oddly close to Blumhouse's Five Nights at Freddy's adaptation. Christopher's hypnotherapy-aided search for his brother's kidnapper, some silly, exhaustingly predictable background on the 100 Acre Woods and its inhabitants. It's like a second retconned origin story. The events of Blood and Honey are even made into an in-universe movie as a metatextual joke. Think Scream 3 or New Nightmare.
He's rewriting the movie.
As the killer waits outside, suddenly the fax machine sends news of their fates.
It's a trap!
But there's just not enough room to follow through on that tantalizing tease. Or, for that matter, pretty much any of Blood and Honey 2's other lofty aspirations. The B-movie absurdity of Pooh's slayings never tonally matches the movie's stuffy emotional subplots. Tallulah Evans' compassionate Lexi can read as forgettably ancillary despite her closeness to Christopher, and she doesn't really get a chance to reverse this because Blood and Honey 2 knows you're here for the gruesome kills, and that's where the priorities of Leslie's plot lie. The body count overrides precise storytelling details, which spoils any character development not involving Pooh's animalistic reapers or Christopher Robin. Frake-Waterfield desperately wants his Blood and Honey sequel to be received with the same enthusiasm as Terrifier 2. I've seen Terrifier 2. I reviewed Terrifier 2 for IGN. Terrifier 2 slathered me in some of the most creative and psychotic horror movie brutalities of the 21st century. Blood and Honey 2, you're not Terrifier 2. Christopher Robin is no stand-in for Lauren Lavera's instantly adored final girl Sienna Shaw, and Ryan Oliva's presence under Pooh's getup does not equal David Howard Thornton's gobsmacking charisma as Art the Clown. The now vocal Owl, Piglet, and Tigger should have followed the example of Terrifier's Mute Mutilator. There's a limited range of morbid creativity in Tigger calling his targets bitch over and over again.
Bitch.
Have you seen the Rick and Morty segment with Scary Terry where he keeps saying bitch over and over?
Buckle up, bitch.
Well, that's kind of what they're trying to do here, but at the same time, they become the thing they are making fun of. For every exciting blast of minty freshness, like Winnie-the-Pooh's bearish surge forward on all fours like an animal, there's a weaker counterbalance to follow. The sequel reigns supreme, but let's remember, anything was an upgrade compared to the first Blood and Honey.
Oh, baby, you gonna help me?
Winnie-the-Pooh Blood and Honey 2 doubles down on a smorgasbord of satisfying slasher kills, employing some gumption and gnarliness in pursuit of a sick, twisted, and self-aware horror curveball. Rhys Frake-Waterfield's sequel looks infinitely better, and with 10 times the budget, it ought to. But that does not excuse the many flaws it inherited from the first 100 Acre horror flick. Blood and Honey 2 is a story that craves substance beyond Winnie-the-Pooh decapitating ravers. It boasts a nastier midnight movie appeal, radical practical effects, and a brisk 90-minute runtime. It's a shaky first step for Frake-Waterfield's proposed Poohniverse concept, but it's a step in the right direction. Winnie-the-Pooh Blood and Honey 2 takes the Terrifier 2 approach for a sequel with an absurd dedication to glorious slasher violence. It's inarguably better than the original, but that's not saying all that much.
I knew that this day would come.
Thank you so much for watching this review of Winnie-the-Pooh Blood and Honey 2, and for more reviews, stick with IGN.
Ah!